Good afternoon, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. We're going to go over the Battle of the Forms. And I want to start out with scripture, of course, King James Version of the Bible, Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Before thou was cast from the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. And what happens in today's modern times is when somebody is born, there's a process that's diverting reality, and it's called a birth registration, wherein they create a fictional person in a bifurcation. A bifurcation is a splitting. And in that splitting from being born, you have a higher realm of being born, and they put you in a birth, which is the lower form, the personage. And he is no respecter of persons. And so upon being born, their implication is that a person is created, whereas according to scripture, again, Genesis 2, verse 7, wherein God created man of the dust of the ground, and he breathed the breath of life into his nostrils. Man became a living soul. Now, this is what tells us that everything in their commercial aspect is false. And this is why it also states he is no respecter of persons. Anything written down is just somebody else's opinion, and it does not reflect accurately in any case. None. And so what we find ourselves in this modern world is a paper conversion of actions. Actions speak louder than words. And then when you verbalize something, verbal, it's the action of speaking. It's a verb, it's an action. And then somebody takes an action again to write it down. And now it becomes a noun or a described verb or an adverb, adjective, all those different grammatical elements. Grammar is put to it. And that grammar is originally from graph. So they put it down in a graph. We don't live as living souls according to a graph. Okay. And so what I've got something called the Battle of the Forms under the Uniform Commercial Code. And what it is many businesses, particularly small businesses, utilize purchase orders or other boilerplate order forms to buy and sell goods, as opposed to the oftentimes lengthy process of drafting and signing a contract between the seller and the buyer for each transaction. And this is the problem. If you're not diligent in each and every transaction to express the trust, then it goes to an automatic presumption, which is known as a legal fiction. Now, the legal fiction is something that is a presentment to the courts by one party that stands until another party comes with a valid objection and rebuttal. Again, telling us that it's fiction. And to reaffirm that fiction, what happens when somebody puts a presentment before a court is they're placing a subject matter before a court of territorial jurisdiction, and they have yet to gain personal jurisdiction, all three elements of which are required. Now, the personal jurisdiction is a catch-22. And the catch-22 is that the court has to obtain personal jurisdiction by the voluntary appearance of the defendant in court. It's the only way they get personal jurisdiction. Now, this is what tells us to go back to the original contracting form and rebut the contract. That contract is not valid. If you wish to contract, we have to do it in private. Your public territorial venue under special and maritime territorial jurisdictions does not apply because the birth registration itself is false. How is it false? Anything that is certified has to be supported by a handwritten statement signed in wet ink, a contract form. It's the only way it happens. If you're going to continue to use the UCC, understand you are not contracting. You are not issuing forth a contract. You are, in fact, operating under the trust. And by using the UCC, you are using battle forms with other trustees and being implicated as a trustee yourself. So if you're going to use the UCC forms, you better know how to battle. And that's under the law of nations, again, indentured with its sister document, the Treaty of Berne, through the Universal Postal Union and its constitution and the Congress of the Postal Union. They are the ones that give the congressional authority to the United States Congress to lay and collect taxes, duties, and imposts. So if you want to get rid of the battle of the forms, I urge all to check out my page, my site, wordwisewarriors.art, and I'll post a link so that you can go check it out and see how you adopt things. Because that's all you got to do is adopt them. You don't have to ratify them or anything. You have to adopt what is already written, which is already a contract in a global trust. And that global trust is operated by the post office. So think about this stuff, people, and realize that if you're using paper forms, you're in a battle. It's a war. If you learn how to speak appropriately, then the commercial appropriations are not had. Pure and simple. And it only takes a peaceful heart. So if you get rid of all of the internal conflict with yourself, the anger, the resentment, the confusion and all that, the fear especially, you cannot have love in your heart if you have fear. And that fear is based on war. The implication that somebody's going to come and beat you down or throw you in a prison cell. I urge everybody to start communicating with the Father so you can come to peace with yourself first and get rid of all of the battle forms. Every piece of paper. The only cash that should be availed to yourself is any kind of negotiable instrument that you write. Again, in appropriate way to dislocate any kind of commercial appropriations. So think about it. And like I said, we'll go ahead and post that link to my WordWise Warrior site. I'm going to start doing that on a regular basis because I'm done with Facebook, I think. I've got another site that we get along with. We do regular Zooms, and it's great. We have church every Tuesday and Thursday, getting together, discussing these codes and stuff and the plain writing of them and how to defeat them. We've got many successes by not using their forms. And that's what it's about. You got to come out of the war. And it is a spiritual war. You got to come out of that battle of the forms and start putting on your boots of the gospel. Okay? So thanks for watching today, and hope to see more here on YouTube Live from now on. Like I said, I'm done with the idiotic questions. If you want to set yourself right, get right with your Father in heaven first. That's where everything extends from. And the Postal Global Trust operates on that. The Treaty of Berne, protecting literary and artistic works. And it is our Father which art in heaven. And it's hallowed be thy name. And it's thy kingdom, thy kingdom, thy will be done in earth, not written. Thy will be done. It is a verb. We are not nouns as people, we are verbs. Shut off the government, shut off the name. Period. In the meantime, if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. So God bless. Be sure to throw some likes, shares, and hit that PayPal button. Like I said, I'll be putting my WordWise Warrior site link up, and so you can go check that out. And please share everything. Freely give what was given freely. So again, this is free education, but I urge you to hit that PayPal button to help me continue this, because people attack me in that commercial venue all the time. At least they try to. So I'm hoping I can help set some things right in other people's hearts by taking the disillusion out of your minds. You have to get rid of that. You have to get rid of the fear and all the anger and resentment and come to peace with yourself and know that you are a verb. You are the creator of everything you do. So remember, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. God bless. Have a great day.